Hi guys, NDFJ, and I'm actually back. My new graphics card arrived yesterday, so I spent yesterday doing some cable management inside my computer, fitting the new graphics card and making sure it all works, installing my drivers, overclocking a very little bit. For those who are interested, my new graphics card is actually an old series graphics card. It's the it's the EVGA NVIDIA GTX 670 FTW edition. So that's running very well for me at the moment. I'm back to using my shaders. Frame rates are pretty good. What am I on? 60 FPS. So yeah, frame rates are pretty good. Game's running fine. And I'm not quite sure where I left off. As you can see, I'm stuttering a little bit, but yeah, as you can see, for those of you who actually pay attention to how my computer looks, you'll see I'm using another different looking layout theme thing. So, first my comeback video was made on Windows 8. Then with a custom theme. Then I switched to Windows 10, and now I'm back on Windows 7. Reason for that is I didn't want to go back to Windows 8, and Windows 10 just wasn't compatible enough for me. So I went back down to Windows 7, which is working exactly how I want it to. So today, because I can't remember where I left off, I've devised a plan, and first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fix this so that bar there is fixed. Second thing I'm going to do is put in some error catching, but when I fix this I'm also going to add in like the Lua prompt thing, and yeah. So let's get to it. I'll show you what I mean by error catching when I actually get to that point. Now another thing is my Sublime text isn't working properly. Well, it wasn't working properly. It is now. These weren't populating properly, but for some reason they're working again. So I've reopened the files I'm going to be using. So my startup, my kernel, which we all know what I'm like for that, and my error catching, which is my own API. Link will be in the description as it was in my last video. So yeah. So for startup, the first thing I want to do, well, as you can see I've already got my load APIs, which I put in the last video. So what I want to do is I want to fix this. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to change that to 1. And I'm going to go txt equals, and just do that. Next one, I'm going to cut this one, set that to 2. Txt equals, and paste that there. Now the reason I'm doing this is because me being an idiot and not coding in Lua for that long, I forgot that these are counted as labels and you can't have two table labels as the same. And because this bottom one here was the same as this one here, they were conflicting. So it only showed this bottom one and not the top one. I know. So what I'm doing is I'm removing these labels and giving them integer values. So 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 10, I believe. And the actual label text, I'm just storing, what did I do? The actual label text, I'm storing in a text variable here, so that I can call that in the function to draw the menu, which you'll see in a minute when I get through all these. Txt equals, so yeah. I still need to contact G Norris, let him know that I'm back up and running, because as I say, I only got it working like last night. And now I'm on here making my video, so after this video I'll be contacting G Norris, seeing if we can get some recording done. I also need to move my Minecraft host, because I was with Axis, I think, and they've stopped doing their hosting service, so now I don't have a server anymore. So I need to get a new Minecraft host, see if I can get my old server world. If not, that series is going to have to sort of restart. What we'll do is we'll start it, go somewhere, get the resources we had by looking at our own video, and then continuing it like that, just in a new world. So yeah, that's a bit annoying really, but it's perfectly manageable. And we're on the last value now, so if I do text equals this, okay. So as you can see, I've moved everything that was there into its own little variable here. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to come down to the draw menu function. Now this here where it says print K, this will print the label, which we know doesn't work. So we want to go back to using the v call, because it's kv, and we're going to do txt. So it'll take this, and it'll print whatever this value is. So if we save that, and we come back into here, if we reload, it now works and looks proper. Awesome. One step down. Next I'm going to code in the Lua prompt. Simple, just an os.run, well, shell.run even. So Lua prompt, it's this one here. There, done. And that brings you back into here. That's the beauty of Lua prompt. So, next thing. Well, actually, what I want to do, before I do that, I want to do term.set background color colors.black term.set text color colors. I'll just set that to 1 because I know that that's the color for white. So now that should actually work better. If I reload this, begin, Lua prompt, yeah, it resets the actual text so I can just use it. Exit, and that will refresh my screen, and I'm still in the OS. Okay, now don't get that confused. That's not running next to the, well, it sort of is, but it's not multitasking. So when you're in there, you can't click begin or whatever. That's just there. It's because I didn't clear the screen buffer, and yeah. Later on in the tutorial we'll be doing coroutines and parallel API and stuff like that for multitasking, but for now we're keeping it basic. So, next thing I want to do. I want to add in some error catching. So, where we come over, I don't know, we'll pick the bottom value over here. And we'll just go error, test error. So if you click on the bottom of this, now it should just give us an error. Yeah, test error. Now what I want to do is I want to give that a custom error, well, a error catch. So down here, I don't really need this anymore. Yeah, sorry about that. I had to cut because my recording messed up, and yeah. So where I was, I've had to backtrack. So I'll be cutting, yeah. Where I was doing the error catching, as you can see here. Now I did mess around and I had to change something somewhere further down the API, and I can't remember where it was, but it doesn't really matter because I'm not going to be using that function anyway. The function I'm going to be using is just this beginning one, this acrash function, yeah. So it's going to need 4 arguments. It's going to need a function, an alignment, a background color, and a text color. So if I just copy this, so that I've got it on my clipboard ready. Now, the part that we need to do now is, I still have it on here actually. You need to wrap your main loop in a function. So I'm just going to go with local function, and I'm just going to call it main. You can call it whatever you want, I'm just calling it main. And I'm going to end the function there. So basically, the reason we do this is because the error catching itself checks a specific function for an error. That's all there is to it. So it needs to be wrapped as a function for it to check for an error. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go with ccatch.a_crash, because it's what I'm using. And it needs a function, so main, an alignment, and this needs to be a string. You can either do left, or center. I like center. Then it needs a background color. So for the sake of this, I'm just going to go with background color 1. I'll go with colors.black actually. And a text color, so no, I'll go with background color 1, so white, and the text color of 8. So it's a nice light blue on a white background. Alternatively, you could go with 8 and 1, I think it is. Colors.blue. Just to give it that blue screen effect. I'm not sure if using the Colors API works with my API, so this is going to be a test for both of us. So if I come out here, I've already put the crash in there, and it does that. So this is just a test error that I've programmed into the API itself. If you download the API, you'll get these these basic errors like, oh no, we've crashed, with your error code and whatever. As you can see here, it says, oh no, we've crashed, error code, and it gives you the actual error code itself. Please report this code to the dev. If this is no fault of your own site, if you didn't modify the code and make it crash, please refrain from modifying the base code. So yeah. Later on, what I'll be doing is, instead of using this A crash that I programmed in here, I'm going to be coming down and using my custom crash. So not the B custom crash, but the A custom crash, when I find it. Oh, I'm going to be using the A save C crash. Yeah, I know, a bit of a long function name, but bear with me, because what this one will do is it'll give me a custom crash and it'll save the crash into an error log. So it'll take quite a few arguments, as you can see. It takes the function, the alignment, the background color, the text color, the text itself, well, the table, because obviously you want to be more than one line. So take a table, the X position, the Y position, I believe. I'm not sure why the X and Y... Oh yeah, X and Y is the mouse position. The save directory, the save path, and any arguments that there are. So if there's any arguments in the program itself, like, any table of arguments. So remember how we did in the last one to test the online script? We set up the t-args, so if there's any of those, or any arguments for the actual function itself, like this here uses an argument there, it can take up to 2 arguments, which we don't really need, but they're just there in case. And this will save the error to a log, and then it will display the error on screen, if you choose to. So yeah, I think that's all I really have time for today. I'm not really sure how long this recording's gone on for, because it's now in multiple parts due to it messing up. But yeah, I've been NDFJ. I hope you have a fantastic day, week, month of your life. I'll see you next time, probably with G Norris. If not, when we continue this. I just need to get my footing back up and running so I know where I am and what I need to do next. So yeah. See you later, guys. Bye.